If you want to lay a wiring harness, you first must understand what a wiring harness is. A wiring harness is the nervous system of all your electronic devices. It's a collection of wires that are systematically arranged and taped together so they can send important electrical signals between each connector. A good example of this is when you turn the dial of your stereo system. It sends a signal to the speaker to either turn the music up because the song sounds great, or turn it down because the music is complete garbage. Now that you understand what a wiring harness is, we can begin laying. The most important thing you need is your instructions, your wire map. Let's start by looking at connector A. Notice there are 5 columns: pin, signal, gauge, wire color, and destination. The pin and signal columns are not that important right now because we are laying the harness, not populating the connectors yet. The gauge column is important because it tells us how thick the wire is. The bigger the number, the smaller the thickness. The smaller the number, the bigger the thickness. Don't ask me why it's like this because I have no idea. The wire color is self-explanatory, or at least I hope so, because if not, that would be concerning. The last column is the destination, which simply tells us where the wire needs to end up. Let's start with the first row. We have an 18-gauge red wire going to the power junction, so let's create that. Now, a junction just means that a collection of specific wires will all end up in one place. Power just so happens to be one of those places. The same thing applies to ground. Every electronic device needs power, and every harness needs ground so that the power can continue to flow correctly in a complete loop. Since in this example, every connector needs power and ground, we can just go ahead and lay those wires as well. Now let's talk about the CAN junction. Remember how I talked about how the volume dial and the speakers work together? This takes it a step further. A CAN junction allows modules not only to communicate that the volume needs to increase, but it would also show on the stereo screen exactly how much it's increasing, and when it can't go any further. Now look at the 22-gauge pink and 22-gauge blue wires going into connector D. All we have to do is simply lay the wire directly to connector D. It's that simple. Then we do the exact same thing for the 22-gauge orange wire going to connector B and the 22-gauge purple wire going to connector C. And that's it. Following these same exact steps for connectors B, C, and D will produce a perfectly laid wiring harness.